Chosen one, God sent convenience to move you on a safer place. Move before strikes. The dream came exactly at 3:17 a.m. In it, Elias was standing on the roof of the old textile mill where he had worked for 17 years. The city lights below looked like scattered coals, still glowing but already dying. Then the sky split open, not with lightning, but with something cleaner, whiter, surgical. A voice spoke, calm, genderless, ancient. You are the one I have marked, not because you are better, because you listened when no one else did. Tonight I send convenience, a door, a vehicle, a path. Take it before the first strike falls. Do not wait for understanding. Understanding comes after survival. Elias woke up soaked in sweat, heart hammering so hard his teeth rattled. He sat on the edge of the bed for almost 20 minutes, staring at the wall, trying to decide if he was losing his mind. At 4:02 a.m., his phone vibrated once. No notification sound, just vibration. When he picked it up, the screen showed only 4 words in white text on black background. Garage, level -2, black van, now. No sender, no number. The message disappeared the second he blinked. He should have gone back to sleep. He should have laughed at himself. Instead, he pulled on yesterday's jeans, grabbed his old leather jacket, the one with the broken zipper, and walked out. The elevator in his building had never gone to basement level -2. Everyone knew that. There were only 2 underground parking levels. Yet when he pressed the button marked B2, the doors closed and the elevator dropped and dropped and dropped. When the doors opened, there it was. A completely ordinary black cargo van. No plates, no logos, windows tinted so dark they looked like holes cut into reality. The side door was already sliding open, slowly, invitingly, like a polite monster. Inside, the entire back was empty except for one thing, a child's car seat, brand new, still wrapped in plastic. And on the seat lay a small handwritten note in the same calm handwriting he somehow recognized from the dream. For the little one who hasn't arrived yet, she will need it. Drive north, follow the white bird. Don't stop until you see the sea that faces the wrong direction. Elias stared at the car seat. His wife Miriam was 6 months pregnant. They had decided not to know the gender. He had never told anyone, not his mother, not his best friend, not even Miriam, that deep down he hoped for a daughter. He got in. The keys were already in the ignition. The engine started without sound, like a held breath suddenly released. As he pulled out of the impossible garage level, a white dove appeared on the hood. Not realistic, too perfect. Glowing slightly, like it was carved from moonlight. It didn't fly away when he started moving. It simply sat there, turning its head now and then, watching the road ahead. He drove. First through the sleeping industrial district, then past the abandoned chemical plants, then onto roads he had never seen before. The dove never left the hood. Whenever he doubted and slowed down, it turned and looked straight at him through the windshield with eyes like liquid starlight. At 5:41 a.m., the first explosion happened behind him. Not close, maybe 30 kilometers, but the flash lit the entire sky orange-white, and the shockwave reached him seconds later, making the steering wheel jump in his hands. He pressed the accelerator harder. Another bloom of light, closer this time, then another, and another. The city was being erased behind him, methodically, like someone carefully using an eraser on a map. He didn't look in the rearview mirror after the fourth explosion. He couldn't. The dove stayed. Dawn came, but it was wrong. The sun rose in the north instead of the east. Elias laughed once, a short, broken sound. Of course the sea would face the wrong direction too. Hours blurred. The roads became narrower, then turned to gravel, then to dirt, then to something that looked more like a memory of a path than an actual road. Eventually, the trees stopped, the land flattened, and there it was, a sea that looked north when it should have looked south. The water was mirror black, no waves, just perfect, impossible stillness. And in the middle of that stillness floated something that looked like a low stone platform, no bigger than a small house. The dove lifted off the hood for the first time. It flew straight toward the platform, circled once, then landed gently. Elias killed the engine. The silence was so complete it hurt. Elias Thorne had always been a man of quiet routines, the kind that wrapped around a life like old vines on a forgotten fence. At 42, he worked the graveyard shift at the sprawling textile mill on the outskirts of the city, a labyrinth of rusting machines and faded dreams where threads spun into fabric that no one seemed to need anymore. His hands were calloused from years of guiding spools through the relentless hum of the looms, and his mind was a vault of unspoken regrets. He had married Miriam 8 years ago, in a small ceremony under a sky heavy with rain clouds, and now she carried their first child. They lived in a cramped apartment on the 7th floor of a crumbling high-rise, where the walls whispered of better times, and the elevator groaned like an old man climbing stairs. Elias wasn't religious, not in the way his late mother had been, with her rosary beads and nightly prayers, but he believed in signs. Subtle ones, like the way a shadow fell across a path, or the unexpected ring of a phone in the dead of night. Perhaps that's why when the dream came at precisely 3:17 a.m., it didn't feel like a mere figment of his subconscious. It felt like a summons. In the dream, he stood atop the mill's roof, the city sprawling below like a tangled web of lights and shadows. The air was thick with the scent of ozone, as if a storm were brewing, but the sky was clear, studded with stars that pulsed unnaturally. Then, without warning, the heavens parted, not with thunder, but with a precise incision of light, white and unyielding, like a scalpel slicing through silk. From that rift emerged a voice, neither male nor female, but resonant with the weight of eons. It spoke in measured tones, each word embedding itself in his soul. You are the one I have marked, not because you are stronger or wiser than others, not because your deeds shine brighter, but because in the silence of your days, you have listened. The world teeters on the edge of unraveling, and the strikes will come swift and merciless. Tonight, I send you convenience, a gift from the divine, a thread to pull you from the tapestry of doom. A door will open, a path will unfold. Take it before the first strike falls. Do not seek to understand now. Understanding is the luxury of survivors. The voice faded, leaving behind an echo that vibrated in his chest. Elias bolted upright in bed, his sheets twisted around him like restraints. Sweat beaded on his forehead, trickling down his temples. Beside him, Miriam stirred faintly, her hand resting protectively on the swell of her belly. She murmured something incoherent and drifted back into sleep. Elias glanced at the digital clock on the nightstand. 3:17 a.m. Exactly. He rubbed his eyes, trying to shake off the dream's grip. Was it the stress? The mill had been laying off workers, whispers of closure circulating like ghosts in the break room. Or perhaps it was the pregnancy. Miriam's morning sickness had kept him up for weeks, his mind racing with fears of fatherhood in a world that felt increasingly unstable. He swung his legs over the edge of the bed, the wooden floor cold against his bare feet. For 20 minutes he sat there staring at the peeling wallpaper, replaying the dream in his mind.
The voice had been so real, so insistent. Convenience, it had said. What did that even mean? A promotion? A lottery win? He almost laughed at the absurdity, but the sound caught in his throat. Then, at 4:02 a.m., his phone vibrated on the nightstand, not with its usual chime, but a single, insistent buzz that seemed to resonate through his bones. He grabbed it, the screen illuminating his face in the dark. No caller ID, no app notification, just 4 words in stark white text against a black void. Garage level -2, black van, now. The message lingered for a heartbeat, then vanished as if it had never been. Elias blinked, his pulse quickening. He checked his message history. Nothing, no trace. A prank? A glitch? But deep down, he knew it wasn't. The dream's echo stirred within him. He should have woken Miriam, should have called the police or dismissed it as fatigue. Instead, he dressed quietly in yesterday's jeans and his worn leather jacket, the one with the zipper that stuck halfway up. He paused at the bedroom door, watching Miriam's chest rise and fall. "I'll be back soon," he whispered, though he wasn't sure if he believed it. Slipping out, he took the elevator down, his finger hovering over the buttons. The only building had 2 basement levels for parking, B1 and B2. Level -2 didn't exist. Everyone knew it. It was a myth, a joke among tenants about the architect's error. Yet when he pressed B2, the elevator lurched downward with a mechanical sigh, descending further than it ever had. The display flickered, B1, B2, and then, impossibly, -2. The doors slid open to a dimly lit expanse, concrete walls etched with shadows. And there, idling silently, was the black van, plain, unremarkable, like a delivery vehicle forgotten in the night. No license.
Elias's breath caught. Miriam was 6 months along, and they had chosen not to learn the baby's gender. But in his private moments, he had imagined a daughter, someone with Miriam's fierce eyes and his quiet strength. He had confided this to no one, not even her. How could this note know? His hands trembled as he climbed into the driver's seat. The keys dangled from the ignition, and the engine purred to life without a sound, smooth as whispered secrets. As he eased out of the garage, a white dove materialized on the hood. Not a real bird, too ethereal, its feathers shimmering with an inner light like moonlight captured in glass. It perched there, unperturbed by the motion, its head swiveling to guide him. Elias gripped the wheel, his mind a whirlwind. North? Toward the outskirts, away from the city center? The streets were empty at this hour, the industrial district a ghost town of shuttered factories and chain-link fences. He passed the old chemical plants, their smokestacks silent sentinels against the pre-dawn sky. Memories flooded him. His father lost to a factory accident when Elias was 10, his mother's endless shifts to keep them afloat, his own decision to drop out of school and join the mill, trading dreams for stability. The dove turned its head, eyes like polished pearls locking onto his through the windshield. A silent command. Keep going. Elias accelerated, the van handling the roads with unnatural ease. As the city lights faded in the rear view, doubt crept in. What if this was madness? What if he was leaving Miriam behind to some delusion? He almost turned back, but then, at 5:41 a.m., the first strike came. It started as a distant rumble, then a flash that turned the horizon into a canvas of orange and white. The shockwave hit seconds later, rattling the van's frame and sending dust cascading from the dashboard. Elias slammed on the brakes, staring in the mirror. A mushroom cloud billowed upward, flames licking the sky where the mill should be. His workplace, gone. Panic surged. He fumbled for his phone, dialing Miriam. No signal. Dead air. Another explosion, closer this time, shattering the night. The chemical plants? The high-rises? The city was unraveling strike after strike, like a systematic purge. Sirens wailed faintly in the distance, then silenced abruptly. Elias floored the accelerator, the dove unwavering on the hood. The road twisted north, through forgotten farmlands where skeletal silos stood like ancient ruins. He passed a few stragglers, farmers loading trucks, eyes wide with confusion, but he didn't stop. The note had warned, "Don't stop." Hours bled into one another. Dawn broke, but it was aberrant, the sun cresting in the north, casting long shadows that defied logic. Elias's stomach growled. He hadn't eaten since dinner. In the glove compartment, he found provisions, bottled water, energy bars, a blanket. Convenience indeed. As the explosions faded to distant thunders, his thoughts turned inward. Who was he really? A mill worker? A husband? Soon a father? Chosen? For what? The voice had said he listened. Listened to what? The hum of machines? Miriam's laughter? The unspoken pleas of a world on the brink? The landscape shifted. Gravel roads gave way to dirt paths, then to overgrown trails that the van navigated effortlessly, tires gliding over ruts as if on rails. Wildlife scattered, deer bounding away, birds fleeing in flocks, but the dove remained, a beacon. By midday, under that misplaced sun, Elias spotted figures on the roadside, refugees perhaps, fleeing the strikes. A family waved him down, desperation in their eyes. He slowed, heart aching, but the dove turned, its gaze piercing, a warning. He drove on, guilt gnawing at him. "I'm sorry," he muttered, tears blurring his vision. As evening approached, the air grew saline, the horizon shimmering. The sea appeared suddenly, a vast expanse of mirror-black water stretching northward when geography demanded otherwise. No waves disturbed its surface. It was a sheet of obsidian reflecting the twisted sky. In its center floated a low stone platform, unadorned, ancient. The dove lifted from the hood, wings unfurling in a glow, and soared toward it, circling once before alighting. Elias parked the van at the water's edge, engines sighing to a halt. The silence was profound, pressing against his eardrums. He stepped out, placing a hand on the car seat as if drawing strength from it. Miriam, the child. He walked to the shore, and when his foot touched the water, it held firm, solid as stone. Golden ripples emanated from each step, illuminating the depths below, shadowy forms, perhaps ruins of lost civilizations. Reaching the platform, he found the dove transformed. In its stead stood a luminous humanoid, yet formless, radiating warmth. The voice returned, enveloping him. "You have heeded the call, Elias. The strikes were not of man, but of fate's reckoning, a cleansing for a world grown stagnant. You were never meant to perish in the flames. You are the vessel for renewal. The child carries the spark of what comes next. She will forget this journey, but her bones will remember the light. That is the seed of hope." The presence extended a tendril of light, touching his forehead. A cascade of visions flooded him. Miriam safe in some ethereal limbo, the baby's birth amid stars, futures branching like rivers. Then, whiteness consumed everything. When awareness returned, Elias stood on the deck of an ancient wooden ship, its timbers weathered by untold voyages. No sails billowed, no engine thrummed, yet it glided forward on the wrong-facing sea, propelled by invisible currents. The sky above was a tapestry of unfamiliar constellations, twinkling with promise. Behind him, in a cradle woven from soft reeds and lined with wool, slept a newborn girl. Her tiny chest rose and fell, peaceful. She had Miriam's delicate nose, his strong chin. On her wrist,